Welcome, food enthusiast, to a new episode of the Food Envy podcast. In today's episode, we're exploring the art of plating with my guest, Chef Ben Watson, who's got a really impressive background, including his time at 3 Michelin-starred Core by Clare Smyth, and now his current role as chef patron at the Golden Ball pub in Henley. Stick around and you'll learn all about Ben's thought process.
A walk through the woods in autumn or something like that, and you get these kind of natural kind of shapes and like leaves on the floor and the colours and that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's how I see it.
You'll be treated to a brilliant demo of one of his current creations, a wonderful dish of local and seasonal ingredients transformed into a visually stunning autumnal dish.
Sitting down with that, like a glass of red wine, candlelight in a sort of like winter's evening, it makes sense to me.
As always, it's all about this subtle art of plating. Can you just give me a rundown of the dish that you're going to do today for me?
Yeah, sure. It's a barbecued loin of local muntjac deer with some salt-baked beetroot, elderberry ketchup, a little bit of Swiss chard and some grilled hen of the woods mushrooms.
Okay.
A little venison sauce, and we'll put some pickled blackberries on there as well. Okay. Which is all element of fruitiness.
And is this a current dish? This is a current dish. So this is one that you have worked the plating out on already. We're not going to be seeing the evolution in process.
No. So I mean, what I would say is that every plate is slightly different. Okay. I've got a general template, but I don't mess around with beetroots are all different sizes. I cut them, but I don't get my ruler out and cut them into perfect squares. The chards or kale or whatever it might be that I'm using is different. The mushrooms always look a bit different.
Yep.
The venison, some pieces are big, fat, some are long and thin.
Yep.
So I've got a rough kind of like outline of what it looks like, but this particular dish, I kind of let the ingredients stay natural, natural kind of shapes and stuff. I think it looks quite nice. I mean, sometimes it reminds me of like, not to like wax too lyrical about it, but like a walk through the woods in autumn or something like that, and you get these kind of natural kind of shapes and like leaves on the floor and the colours and that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's how I see it anyway. So yeah, try and keep it like it's natural.
All right, brilliant. Well, look forward to seeing it.
That's kind of like as a base, I'll do that pretty much the same. Again, like I was saying, the beetroot's quite often slightly different shapes and sizes, but I use that as a kind of a base, base that I'll build around.
This is looking like a pretty hearty dish already. I mean, you're not mucking around, are you?
No, not at all. I do like to be pretty generous with our main courses on our a la carte menu. Yeah.
So this was just inspired by local...
Yeah, so this is literally inspired by sort of where we are, what's available at the moment, what's good from the local suppliers, kind of letting... Sounds a bit corny, doesn't it? Letting nature sort of dictate.
Not at all.
Not at all. Letting nature sort of dictate what you put on the plate. Yeah. But it makes sense in like an area like this, I believe. But
definitely,
because but where I was before, where I've been before, like areas and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much. But
yeah.
So that's essentially it.
It's beautiful. The colours are really, really nice.
Yeah, it's quite autumnal, like I was saying. It's quite dark. Obviously, the little flashes of green in there just to sort of give it a little bit of colour, because I know if it's all black and grey...
It definitely needs the green, doesn't it, I think?
Yeah,
it helps elevate it.
It can be quite depressing almost. I think, like, if you look at the food that I do, like, I've been doing spring, summer, I've used a lot of sort of flowers from the garden, like borage flowers and like bright blues, stuff like that. A lot of herbs like bright greens and blues and stuff that kind of make sense in the summer and winter. But I think sitting down with that, like a glass of red wine in the sort of like candlelight in a sort of like winter's evening, it's kind of again, that kind of like makes sense to me. So.
Absolutely, and because it looks like a very hearty plate of food. Yeah, which is it's not what I was expecting, I have to say. Yeah, so it's lovely to see that as well. Because that's a proper plate of food.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I feel like for what we charge, and for what people kind of want is to be a little bit more like less dainty. I mean, but then again, some of the dishes that I do, you probably look at it and be like, oh, that was a little bit more like dainty. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got the mix.
Yeah, exactly. Got a bit of a mix.
All right, great. Yeah, if you want to sauce that,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Well, so normally just a little bit over everywhere.
Wow, Ben, that really is a beautiful looking plate of food. I love it. So thanks once again to Chef Ben Watson for taking the time to chat with me and demonstrate his beautiful muntjac dish. I'm really excited to keep exploring the art of food aesthetics in future episodes. Now, if you've not seen the podcast before, check out these links to learn more from other top pro chefs. I'll be releasing more from the conversation from Ben over the coming weeks, so stick around. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts about plate design. What are your favourite techniques, or which chefs do you think do it the best? Leave them in the comments below, and who knows, maybe I can tempt them onto the podcast one day. I've got some amazing chefs lined up for future episodes of this podcast, so make sure you subscribe to the channel to watch more great plating and conversation about the visual side of food.